may seem a little odd for this, our first policy motion at this conference, at this stage of the coalition government, for it apparently to be somewhat militaristic, because it's not an area in which Liberal Democrats have been particularly strong. This isn't about militarism. This is about righting a wrong. This is following our supremely successful campaign for the Gurkhas. I don't know whom we will find to play Joanna Lumley in uniform this time, but it does carry a similar message. It's righting a wrong that's been perpetrated, I think probably to the great ignorance of most of us here, if we're honest, for decades. I am lucky enough to know a gentleman called Air Vice Marshal Lamb, inevitably and affectionately known as Larry, who flew in the Berlin Airlift as a very young man. And he has been campaigning ever since, even from his position in the Royal Air Force, for people, the air crews in the airlift, to be properly recognised. And I just find it incredible that this has not been fulfilled yet. They flew heavy, cumbersome, horrible transport airplanes, laden with coal and equipment and food and flour. It was difficult flying. They were flying over hostile land in Germany. Life at home was grim. Life in Berlin was grimmer. They were landing in decrepit airstrips. And it was hard, hard, hard for these young men. It was not glamorous. They haven't made films about it. And they've been completely ignored. So we have a chance to right this wrong. There have been others in the Far East, in Africa, let alone nearer home more recently. Now, the fact that they were carrying out their duties in conflicts and in wars with which we might personally or as a party have disagreed does not detract in any way from the courage and commitment of these men and women. And I feel ashamed that they have gone unrecognised so far, and I am just delighted that we are in a position now, at last, to do something, really do something about it. Conference, if we pass this motion to our colleagues in the government, it sounds nice saying that actually, can we ask them also to put the pressure on? This is a matter of urgency. Obviously the people concerned are increasingly aged. I hope that they will consider awarding the medal posthumously to families who would like it and who would treasure it. Conference, please pass this motion. It's not a great thing, it's not taking anything away from anybody else, but it does give some recognition that these men and women have earned so bravely. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Could I ask Roger Putnam to stand by? And I now call Linda Jack from Mid-Bedfordshire, who's also a member of FPC.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair. I have to declare an interest as a veteran. Thankfully, I came out of the army unscathed. Whether the army came out equally unscathed for having me in it, I'm not quite so sure. Those of you that know me know that I'm a fervent opposer of Trident, of the war in Iraq, and the war in Afghanistan. Don't tell Nick Clegg, but I'm a bit of a lefty. But I fervently support our forces. When I was 17, I took the Queen's shilling, and in doing that, I was prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. And that's what every one of our armed forces does when they do that. It is shameful that so many of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice or have come home maimed and injured have not been recognised. Terry's already mentioned Korea, the injuries that took place and killings that took place outside of Northern Ireland, those that died because of the nuclear testing and the chemical warfare testing. It's a disgrace. I believe that their sacrifice should also be recognised through this National Defence Medal. It's not about our lack of adherence to the military covenant. As General Sir Richard Dennett said, the covenant says that we do what we do in the nation's name. That's the way a democracy works. And so soldiers do not ask why, unless they're me, but they do ask for respect and honour for doing what they have been sent to do, which they do with courage and professionalism.